Yeah, I mean, even from a sort of a training perspective, one of the things I see with the guys who are on quite a lot of gear is they're not very good bodybuilders. Okay. I mean, the guy who I was mentioning earlier, who came from one of the local pros and was on 2 grams of gear, he couldn't diet and train to save his life. So he was just masking all that with a lot of drugs. So even just from a practical point of view, it doesn't work, you know, so without the basis, without the grounding. So again, that kind of harks back to what I was saying about the natural bodybuilding movement. If we actually have good education out there on how to eat, how to train correctly, well, then again, it goes back to the reason why young men are going on steroids, because they have a certain body image they want to attain. Now, if we can at least get them some of the way there with good training practices, good dieting practices, and I tell you what, Asif, this has come on a long way. When I went on the internet for the first time in 1999, there was one website out there which was giving out information on training. It was deepsquatter.com. That's all we had. And if you want to know anything, you go onto that website, and it was just forums. The information out there was terrible. There were people out there who would say things like, if you want bigger arms, then squat for bigger arms. I mean, I don't know what kind of parody the world we're living in, but that's clearly not going to work. But people would say that in all seriousness. At least now we have like guys like Mike Israetel from America, Radiator Periodization, talking about volume landmarks, Greg Knuckles talking about how to quantify sets and volume. We have so many people out there who are great minds and who have turned bodybuilding into an actual system, which we can systematize and educate on, which I think is fantastic. You need that. Strength training has had that for decades. Bodybuilding hasn't. So my hope is the better the education is out there, the less people are going to move towards steroids, because there won't be a need. I mean, people always love shortcuts, but I think a lot of these guys, they genuinely don't want to go on, but they go on in desperation because they're just very unhappy with the physique they have, not living up to the physique they think they should have. And that's a big thing. So we can attack it from one end. We can say, okay, let's try and reduce the boys' expectations of what they should look like and provide them with realistic role models. But I think we can also go attack it from the other end and actually give them really good training and diet advice so they can gain and be happy with it and see it as a lifelong endeavor, not just a temporary 6-week thing.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing, reframing their narrative and seeing fitness and wellness and health as, you know, two ends of the same stick, and actually a lifelong endeavor for you to actually live your longest possible life, not just to get your Instagram likes.